wow, she looks great for her age. Why is for her age even a qualifier that we still think we need? Aging gracefully is surrender in a nice suit. I built this whole show to say things out loud, and I still bit my tongue in a coffee shop. That's how deep this goes. And I believe that you're allowed to love your life and hate your jowls at the same time. I want to be bolder as I age. I want to take up more space, not less. She wasn't just choosing natural, she was choosing. I'm 48 and I refuse to age gracefully. I think aging gracefully is the devil's work. I've been looking for a channel willing to say this out loud, but I couldn't find one. So I'm going to be that channel. And if that's what you're looking for too, stick around. If you've ever been told to age gracefully and immediately thought, fuck no, this one's for you. Hi friend, I'm Cynthia Garcia, and this is I'd Like to Thank Myself. Now, fair warning before we go any further, if you are aging gracefully and you love it, this is not about you. Go in peace. This episode is for the women in the back who've been clapping politely for a decade while everybody around them disappeared quietly. This episode is for the women who simply refuse to go gently into that good night and they want their outsides to match how they feel on the inside. And they're tired of being judged for it. Also, I cuss a lot. So if you're not into that, well, this is your stop. And if you're like, yep, let's fucking go, then grab a drink and let's get into it. So when I first started making this show, I guess I kind of thought that everyone lived the way I live. Now, granted, I live in Los Angeles and the women I know get facelifts as casually as they go to the grocery store on Saturdays. So to me, this was just Tuesday. Then the comments started coming in, and I realized that I was saying out loud what most of you had been whispering to yourselves. So I went down a YouTube rabbit hole, and every channel for women over 40 is about aging gracefully or makeup for mature skin, making peace with it. I couldn't find one channel saying what I actually believe. So I thought, fuck it, I'll do it. Now listen, I am not trying to convert you. I'm just tired of there being no spokesperson for the women who said fuck no to aging. So I decided I'll do it. So if you want more of this, hit subscribe. There's a new video dropping every Tuesday. Now, my obsession with vanity, looking good, refusing to age, comes from way back in my childhood days. So I remember this so clearly. It was Sunday. Now I lived in a small town. We had a lot of 2-lane and dirt roads. And every Sunday I went to church with my mama and my papa. And sometimes after church, we would get ice cream. My papa would take us to get ice cream because church was really the only thing to do on a Sunday in this little town, and ice cream was the reward for sitting still. Now, we didn't have like a restaurant. We had like a restaurant / pool hall. It's called Nina's Grill. I'll never forget this place. It was the one. It was the place where you could get ice cream after church on Sunday and get drunk on the weekends, and sometimes people got shot. No joke, gun, bullets, shot, right? It's just the way it worked in this small town. So it's Sunday. It's me, my sister, my cousin, and we're sitting in the back of my papa's truck. And there's some other church ladies around. It's the only time the church ladies would have been seen near this place, right? It's on a Sunday morning. So we're sitting there and this woman walks by and she's got this peroxide bleach blonde hair. It's like feathered on the sides, right? 'Cause this was back in the day, and a red lipstick that matched the town's fire truck. Right? She was walking on heels, living her best life. She was a whole vibe. And there wasn't another person in this entire town that looked like her. I was in awe. But the women outside the restaurant, grown-ass women, church ladies, they stopped talking and they watched her. And then one of them said something to the effect of like, how embarrassing, trying to look like a teenager. And they laughed. Now, I was just, 13 minutes old. I wasn't that old. I was just a kid. And I was watching those women teach us the rule. First rule, don't be her. Don't try to stay young. Just mind your business and go quietly into that good night. When I looked at that woman in the red lipstick and the hair looking like Farrah Fawcett, I thought she looked amazing. And whatever she was doing, that's what I wanted to be doing when I was her age. I thought she looked great. But those women outside that restaurant were saying no. They were saying don't. They were saying pick quiet and smaller, pick the cardigan. And here's what I understand now that I didn't understand at fucking 7 or whatever I was. Those women weren't just mean. They weren't just being cruel. They were scared. They were scared that they would fail if they tried. They were scared that they'd be judged the same way that they were judging her. Her existence was almost like a dare, and they couldn't stand what it asked of them. So instead of trying to do that too, trying to look the way they wanted to look, they just laughed. And that's kind of how most meanness works, right? It's just fear dressed up in nicer clothes. And here's what nobody was doing in that moment outside this little restaurant. Nobody was on her side. Nobody outside that restaurant said, "You guys, she looks great. Leave her alone." Not one woman. So 40 years later, I'm doing it. Now, before I tell you exactly what I think aging gracefully really means, I want to tell you about the place where we keep this conversation going, because this episode is the overview, but the real conversation is happening in the Vanity Club. So I'm a skincare founder. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist. I've spent $1.3 million on my face and body figuring out what actually works so you don't have to. And all of it, my peptide protocol, my hormone protocol, my treatments, my actual routines, products, all live inside the Vanity Club. But more than just protocols and products and peptides is the community. It's the best women on the planet sharing their best kept secrets. Kind of, it's a vanity, right? A vanity is the one place in your house where no one else's needs live, where you get to sit down, take a moment for yourself, and stand up feeling a little better than you did before. The Vanity Club is where women who said fuck no to aging gracefully come to stay hot together. So if this interests you and you're like, tell me more, Cynthia, tell me everything, the link is in the description. It's in the comments. Come and sit with us. Okay, back to it. So here's what I think aging gracefully actually means. Aging gracefully sounds like wisdom. It sounds dignified and enlightened. It sounds like the mature choice, right? It's not. Aging gracefully is surrender in a nice suit. Let me tell you what I love and what I don't, so you understand where I'm coming from when it comes to aging. So I love aging as an experience. I love the years. I love the wisdom. I love knowing who the fuck I am at 48 in a way that I couldn't possibly have known that at 28. The confidence, the money, the clarity, the being done with people who I now know don't deserve me, all of that, yes, I love that about aging. Sign me up for more. But the physical aging process sucks. I'm just going to say it. We act like aging is this gift and it's this beautiful thing. No, it's fucking awful. The sagging, the bagging, the dragging, the jowls, the skin that fucking took a vacation and only brought some of its shit back. It's not good. We make it out like aging is this special experience, and it's not. And anyone who tells you otherwise is either lying or they're deranged. No, aging is not a good time. Getting more years to experience this one precious life, that is amazing, right? That's great. But aging, not so much. And I believe that you're allowed to love your life and hate your jowls at the same time. And this isn't just about skin. It's about your mind as well. It's about the women who stopped learning and growing and experiencing life at 45, who stopped being curious, stopped laughing out loud, stopped getting excited about anything new. That's the real fade. The face and the body, that's just the most visible version of it. So, if that's what I think aging gracefully is, let me show you what refusing looks like in my actual life. Because I don't just talk about this shit, I live it like a professional athlete, which I feel like some days it'd be easier to just be a professional athlete, but I digress. So I treat my anti-aging protocols like they are an Olympic sport. And I say that knowing that some of you are going to roll your eyes. That's okay, roll them. It's fine. I'm telling you what it actually takes. You don't have to do it. I am. And if you feel the need to drop me a comment to tell me that there are more important things or that I'm ugly or whatever the fuck, go ahead. That's okay. You can do that. Okay, so my athlete training. Sundays are skin days, the full protocol, the hydrating collagen masks, the red lights, the everything. I also pull out every single outfit for the week so I know exactly what I'm wearing on each and every day. One, because I'm a toddler, I guess. One, because I don't like to make decisions throughout the week. I just need to hit it and quit it. Like we need to go first thing in the morning. And two, so that I can make sure when I'm in a rush, I get to show up looking the way I want to look because it makes me feel good when I look good. Saturday mornings, I get a lymphatic massage. Every single week, it is non-negotiable. I do it for drainage, for circulation, for the whole game of life that I'm about to play in the upcoming weeks. Now, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. is elliptical for cardio. Not because I'm a morning person. I am not a morning person. I am not. But because if I don't do it at 5 a.m., it doesn't happen. Listen, I've been exhausted. I've been sick of it. I've been so warm and cozy in my bed. And I've got up and I've done it anyway. And most nights, I am in my home gym, even when I'm tired, sometimes especially when I'm tired. And this is going to sound crazy, but I lift weights by candlelight and vibey music. It is like a spa treatment. It's the best. I love it. Highly recommended. My skincare routine is not simple. I use retinoids, peptides, growth factors, SPF every day of my life. I have my own serum that I created. It's a 4-in-1 serum, and I do multiple steps morning and evening. And by the way, all of the specifics are in the Vanity Club if you want to go deeper into that. Then I have my peptide protocol. So I've been on peptides for over a decade, well before they were trending. And I have a lot of thoughts. I've made a lot of videos where I talk about this, and I will do a dedicated video soon because I know so many of you have so many questions. So subscribe, stick around, that's coming soon. Something else I do is every single night, I take off my makeup. I double cleanse even when I'm exhausted. 25-year-old me would have just said, fuck it, I'm going to bed. I did that so many times. But now in my 40s, I can't afford to do that. I've seen that movie. I know how it ends. And luckily, I have higher standards now than I did when I was 25. Like back then, I was just playing a dangerous game. But today, not so much. Now, the other thing about doing all of this and refusing to age gracefully is it costs money, obviously. It costs time, obviously. It costs friends. I talked about that in another video, and you really felt that. Some of the women that I used to be close with, they don't really call me anymore. And for a long time, I thought that was about just us being busy, but it wasn't. It was about me not being the same kind of busy. I got louder. I took up more space. I started looking better, started working on myself. And that's allowed. You just have to be prepared to lose some women who liked you better, smaller. And honestly, this rule isn't new. It didn't get taught to me once on a dirt road in Appalachia. It got taught to me over and over and over. When I was 25, working in a call center, in the break room, watching coworkers tear apart a woman who walked in wearing heels. I know, she had a heels, short skirt. She looked amazing, but I guess she was a little too old for it. It got taught to me again at 35, and it'll probably get taught to me again next Tuesday, somewhere I haven't even been yet. This rule travels, and it will follow every woman here if you let it. All right, listen, if this is resonating, if you're feeling something in your belly right now, you're not alone. And I want to point you to where people like us hang out. So I mentioned the Vanity Club earlier. I want to say this one more time and then I'll move on. But I love this community of women so much. And these are your people if this video is resonating. Because everything I'm telling you in this episode has a home, and that is in the Vanity Club. The Vanity Club is where women who are, showing up and trying every day to look and feel their best are doing the damn thing. They're sharing the protocols and the conversations that you can't have in your group chat because nobody else gets it. So if you're this far in the episode and you're nodding along, the club is your next stop. The link is in the description and the comments. Check it out. As I was planning this video, I was thinking about something that happened last week. And when it did, I thought I have got to tell them this. So I made a note of it. So last week, I'm having coffee with a friend, right? And this older woman walks in. She's probably in her late 60s, I guess. Full the fuck glam. Like, she looked phenomenal. And my friend who I was with, totally casual, not mean, says, "Wow, she looks great for her age." Now, I didn't say anything. I didn't correct her. I just didn't. But here's what I was actually thinking. I was thinking, yeah, she looks great for a woman who's been through some shit, who's seen things that most people will never see, who's had to carry more than she ever signed up for, and who is still here showing the fuck up on a Tuesday in a coffee shop looking fly as fuck against all the motherfucking odds. Why can't we just say that? Why does her age have to factor in? Why is for her age even a qualifier that we still think we need? Now, I didn't want to embarrass my friend. She did not have any ill intentions. So I bit my tongue. And I'm still a little pissed at myself because I did that. Listen, I built this whole show to say things out loud, and I still bit my tongue in a coffee shop. That's how deep this goes. That's how loud this rule is. And that's why I wanted to do this episode. And before anyone here thinks I have always just been so brave about this, I haven't. Around the time that I had decided to get divorced from Rain's dad, I was in that uncertain, unhappy middle. I was miserable and I didn't know what was coming next. And the last thing I wanted at that point in time in my life was more male attention. So I started dressing down. I covered up, I wore flat shoes, quiet clothes. I made myself disappear on purpose. And I want to be clear about what that was. It wasn't aging gracefully. I was hiding. And there's a difference. And I think a lot of women confuse those two things. They call it graceful when really they're just exhausted, or they're grieving, or they're hurting, and they just don't have the language for it. I was one of those women. I just didn't have those words back then. And if you just thought I was up here making a case for everybody to do what I do, then you've been watching a different episode than the one I'm actually making. So let's talk about permission, because here is what I'd like to share with you. This episode is not me saying every woman has to do what I do. It's not even me saying every woman has to refuse to go gently. I respect women who choose to age gracefully. Now, I don't understand it. I don't get it, but I don't understand or get fast food either. There's a lot of shit I don't understand. That doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means it's not for me. Women who choose to age gracefully, they're not giving up. I don't believe that. I think that they're making a conscious choice. And I think that choice can come from a lot of places. Some of them are just fucking tired of the male gaze. Like, they want to be invisible for a minute. And let me tell you, I understand that. Jesus God, do I understand that? Some women have put in the years and the time and the energy to look good, and now they're done. They just want a simpler routine. They don't value what I value the same way anymore. And some women just don't place that high of a priority on appearance. They just don't give a shit. And that's also okay. None of that is giving up. It is a conscious choice. That is cool. It's just not my choice. Last week, a woman in the Vanity Club, she sent me a DM and she said, Cynthia, for years, I thought that women who put effort into how they looked, who did their makeup and worked out and wore nice clothes, I thought they were shallow. I called them vain. She said this to me. And she said, now I'm getting older and things are starting to shift. And I don't like this feeling very much. She realized that she wasn't just choosing natural, she was choosing, I'm not worth it. She told me that the reason when she really sat with it and thought about it was that she didn't feel like she was worth putting the time and the energy and the money and the intention into herself. And now she feels differently. And I love that for her. So she's starting small. She's drinking her water. She has a simple 3-step skincare routine. And that's really what this is about, right? It's not just about injectables or whatever. It's about believing that you're worthy of it to begin with. So I'm not really doing any of this whole thing gracefully. It's not just about my face. It's about me living the life that I want to keep living. I want to be bolder as I age. I want to take up more space, not less. I want to get wiser and more powerful and do something with that wisdom. I want to misbehave a little bit as I get older. I want to still feel alive. I want to get caught up in a dinner party in a corner at midnight having deep conversations that I'm not ready to walk away from. I want to build my skincare company Rewritten and sell it for $100 million. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I'm smart as fuck. I don't know. Time will tell. But I want more, and I want to feel good enough in my own body to live this life. I want to take Rain to the Christian Dior store in Paris. I want to have coffee with her after a day at the Louvre. I want to sip wine in the Italian countryside with her and soak up the sun on a yacht in the Mediterranean. I want to eat fresh oysters in Monaco. If you can even do that in Monaco, I don't fucking know, but I want to figure it out. I want to swim naked in the ocean at midnight. I've never been to Africa. I want to go to Africa. I want to live all of the days of my life. I don't want to be at home snuggled up in a sweater with a book. Nothing wrong with that. It's just not for me. That ain't me, babe. That ain't me. I want to be reading that book from a lounge chair in the Caribbean. I want to live. I don't want to age gracefully. And someone said to me, I don't know, it was a few weeks ago, people said to me, this woman said to me, she said, well, I've earned these wrinkles. Okay. Cool. We love to say that. We love to say I've earned these wrinkles, like they're badges. They're a map of everything that we've been through. And I get it. I do. I get it. But I don't need a wrinkle to remember the shit that I've been through, what I've carried, what I've survived. I remember all of that shit, all of it. The wrinkle isn't a badge. It's salt on a wound. No, thank you. No, ma'am. No, thank you. And here's the thing. I don't have this all figured out. Something will probably happen that changes my mind. I am only human after all. But this is where I am right now. And this is what I believe. And I wanted to be here with you and to say it out loud because I knew that you would get it. So, a toast. Because I want the person who made it this far to know exactly who we're raising a glass to. You got a glass? Got it? Grabbed a drink? Let's make a toast. I'd like to thank myself for refusing to fade when the world expected me to, for taking up more space as I age, not less. I'd like to thank myself for wanting more years, more wisdom, more fucking life, and deciding that I was going to have all of it with my outsides reflecting my insides. I'd like to thank myself for choosing to be vain and not giving a single mouse fuck what other people thought of that, for refusing to let a wrinkle tell me where I've been. I remember, I carry it, I don't need a badge. I'd like to thank myself for being the spokesperson for all of us, even though that means haters somehow come out of the woodwork. So to the 7-year-old girl in a church dress on a 2-lane road in Appalachia, watching grown-ass women laugh at another woman wearing red lipstick. Cheers to that girl who didn't laugh, who thought that woman was beautiful, who took her side that day, and 40 years later, I'm still on it. To who we were, to who we are, and to the hot bitches we're becoming, for that and so much more, I'd like to thank myself. Cheers.